Profits LLC. We help people with their employee turnover, their labor shortage, and skill gap issues. Today, we're going to talk about which group is hearing "I want you to say," "I want you to stay." Which group, which employee group within your organization is hearing you tell them, "We want you guys to stay here. We want you to work for us." Okay. Now, as we all know, every organization has good and bad employees. The most powerful thing that I can tell you is your managers and your employees know exactly who the good and bad employees are. How you deal with each one of these groups will determine who will end up staying and working for your organization. Now, this fact is extremely powerful and it can be used. But the problem is, it can also be a two-edged sword. It can either help you or it can severely hurt you. So let's talk about how we can make it help our organizations. By your words and actions, you tell the employees who you want to stay. Now, a lot of times it's unintended. You're not thinking that, oh, I'm going out and telling which ones I want to stay. But they hear you loud and clear, both your words and your actions. So let's talk about how you can do that. In today's world, you hear a lot about pay gaps. What's the pay gap between this group of people and that group of people, et cetera, et cetera. So let me tell you about the pay gap that I see the most consistently. Every time I walk into an organization, I see this over and over and over again, and it is very disturbing to me. And that is that the most consistent pay gap that I see is with your most productive employees. So let me tell you the basic story, and this has happened I don't know how many times over my years. I'll go into a new organization. I'll be walking around with the business owner or the CEO, and we'll walk into a department. And the department manager will be there, and we'll start talking to him. And I'll ask him a question. Who's your best employee? And every single time, the department manager and a lot of times the CEO can tell me. They can point at somebody and say, "That's our best employee. We're scared to death that they're going to get hit by a bus tomorrow. They are just awesome. We wish we had more employees like this." And this is the real key to this whole thing. So the fact that they're saying up front, if we had more employees like him or her, then we'll be way ahead of the game. So here's how we do this. So they're telling me that that particular employee is the most productive employee. I then go into the compensation plan, and I'm looking at it, and this happens all the time. I'm finding that the best employee they're saying they're all agreeing on, he's barely making any more money than the second person in line. Even though they're saying that the gap is way up here and all the others are way down here, he's barely making just a little bit more. I then go to that department manager, I go to the CEO, I show them what I find. Both of them, they always react to saying, wait a minute, that's not right. Uh, I'm just showing you your own report. Okay. And all of a sudden they realize that, wait a minute, no, we need to pay that guy 20, 30% more money. He's worth a lot more than that. And the next thing you know, that guy gets a pay raise. And this, again, here's another key to this whole thing. Because in the long run, what you want is you want the highly productive employees to be the standard in that department. Okay, so now what you're saying is that if you live up to this guy's standard, you're living up to this guy's level of productivity, that you're willing to pay X number of dollars, which is more and should be quite a bit more than what these other people are making. So now what you're going to do is you're going to drive all the other employees up to that level, because now all of a sudden they want to make the same amount of money as that guy is. And all they want to know is, how do I get there? So what's going to end up happening is the highly productive employee will now become the mentor for these other employees, showing them how is he working differently, what is he doing differently to somehow be dramatically more productive. And obviously, depending on departments and organizations and all that, it can be lots of things, right? But allow him to drag all those other employees up. Now, I can tell you right now, your bad employees, they're going to have no interest in this. They're not going to be interested in doing that level of work and everything, even for that level of pay. That's just not who they are. They're trying to get a little bit of pay for as little work as possible. So what you're going to end up actually doing is those employees that are not being pulled up to that new level of productivity, they're going to end up leaving your organization. So what's going to end up happening is your productivity is going to go up dramatically. Your payroll is going to be basically stay the same because you're going to be paying certain employees more money, but the other employees are going away. So you end up basically at a wash, but your productivity is dramatically higher. So you're coming out way ahead on the thing, but the employees are also coming out ahead. Now they're going to be engaged. They're going to be happier. The group will be much happier because they're all working on the same page now and they're working together. And what you have now successfully done by your communication and by your actions, you have shown them that what you want are the good employees. You want those people that are willing to work at that new standard that you have set, which happened to be the standard of the guy that was already there. So think about what you've done. You've all of a sudden, you're paying that person, that high productive person, you're paying them what they were worth to begin with. But now what you've done is you've dragged up the rest of the department to his level, and you've made it very clear now to everybody who you want to stay. You want the people who are there to be productive, who are there, who want to make more money, and be a good employee. So that is how you do that. This is Clark Ingram with People Profits. We help people with their employee turnover, their labor shortage, and skills gap. Till next time, see you later.